My therapist told me to record family dinners. The audio file almost got me disowned. My therapist said recording one of our family dinners might help me understand why I always leave feeling like I'm the problem. What the mic actually caught? It changed everything, and almost got me cut out for good. If you've ever felt like the outsider in your own family, buckle up. I don't even know how to start this without sounding dramatic, but honestly, I haven't stopped shaking since I hit play. One audio file. That's all it took to unravel everything. Let me back up. I'm Eli, 28M, oldest of three, and the unofficial emotional sponge of our so-called high-functioning family. My therapist, shout out to Jenna, literal goddess of patience, has been pushing me to set boundaries for years, but things always got messy when it came to family dinners. It's like I'd black out. I'd walk in all confident, promising myself I wouldn't react. And 5 minutes later, I'm halfway through defending my life choices to a table full of smug, passive-aggressive experts and guilt trips. So 3 weeks ago, Jenna suggested I try something new. Record one of the dinners. Not to share, just to listen back. To catch the gaslighting in real time. To prove to myself that, no, I'm not just imagining it. I wasn't supposed to find anything. I wasn't supposed to hear what I heard. The plan was simple. I tucked a tiny mic into the pocket of my flannel, old tech from a podcast project I never finished, and hit record before I walked into Mom's house. Sunday dinner, lasagna night. The usual suspects: Mom, Donna, 54, queen of weaponized wellness. Dad, Rick, 58, thinks he's the fun parent because he makes Costco margaritas. My sister Naomi, 25, the golden child with a perfect credit score and a fiancé who says, bruh, unironically. And Jesse, 22, baby of the family, failed YouTuber, currently between passions. We were all there, and honestly, it started off fine. Mom complimented my haircut while also reminding me how much better I looked when I was vegan. Dad poured everyone margaritas except me. Still driving that Prius? Didn't think you'd drink real alcohol anymore, haha. And Naomi talked about her wedding planner like she was describing a hostage negotiator. I laughed. I smiled. I did the whole thing. Even Jesse was chill, until I mentioned I'd turned down a job offer to keep freelancing. That's when the room shifted. Naomi: wait, you chose not to take the offer? At your age? Mom: sweetheart, it's just that stability is important. You know, if you ever want to settle down, or qualify for a real mortgage. Jesse snorts: freelancing's just code for unemployed. I made a joke back. Something dumb about how Jesse's last passion cost our parents $5,000 and a broken drone. Everyone laughed, even Jesse, or so I thought. But the real moment, the one that keeps replaying in my head, came later, after dinner. I'd gone out back to call Jenna just to decompress. Left my flannel on the chair, mic still running. What I heard on the recording later? I wasn't supposed to hear that. I came back in, grabbed my stuff, smiled, said my goodbyes, the usual routine. But when I got home and transferred the file, just out of curiosity, I found an extra 20 minutes at the end. And those 20 minutes? Yeah, that's when everything changed. I'll post the transcript. But just know, I always thought I was being too sensitive. I always told myself they loved me differently, not less. I was wrong. I almost didn't listen to the end of the recording. I had it playing in the background while I was making tea, half expecting it to be boring silence or maybe Jesse saying something dumb. But about 5 minutes in, the tone shifted, and I stopped dead. Mom's voice, clear as a bell. You know, I keep hoping he'll just grow out of it. This freelancing thing. The sad little lone wolf act. Naomi laughs. You'd think turning 30 would make him realize he's not special. Everyone has trauma. Eli just likes to market his. I sat down on the kitchen floor, mug still in my hand. My heart felt like it was trying to crawl out of my throat. Then Jesse chimed in. He records voice memos to himself like it's a podcast no one asked for. Dude's one breakdown away from selling crystals on TikTok. I wanted to stop listening, but I couldn't. My own family, casually shredding me like I wasn't even a person, just a character they were bored of. Dad's voice was harder to hear, but I caught the words overthinker and waste of potential. And then Mom again. He's just exhausting. It's always been like this. Remember the middle school play? He cried for 3 days because he didn't get the lead. We had to apologize to the drama teacher. Naomi: he cried because she told him he had side character energy. She wasn't even wrong. They all laughed. Real laughter, like it was a fond family memory, not the moment that made me quit theater forever. And then this. The line that actually made me pause the file and put my head between my knees. He's always been the backup plan, Mom said. That's what Rick and I used to call him. If Naomi flames out and Jesse bombs, at least we have Eli to hold things together. Naomi, through her smug little laugh, joke's on you. Your backup plan wants to be an influencer now. The rest was background noise. Margarita glasses clinking, someone bringing out dessert, the sounds of a family bonding over how tired they were of me. I didn't sleep that night. I laid in bed staring at the ceiling, playing their voices over and over. Not just from the recording, but from every memory that suddenly took on new meaning. Every time Mom had asked for help but not how I was doing. Every time Dad had said, "You're the reliable one," with that tone that always felt like an anchor. Every time Naomi had dismissed my work or Jesse had rolled his eyes when I talked about therapy. All of it snapped into place. I thought I was being paranoid. I thought they loved me. They just didn't get me. Turns out they don't even like me. I haven't told Jenna about the recording yet. I don't even know how to start. But I did something I've never done before. I texted Naomi and asked her if we could talk. Her reply, "Busy week. Try again next Sunday. The next family dinner is in 3 days. And this time, I'm not showing up empty-handed. I told myself I was just going for closure. That showing up was a power move. That if they were going to talk about me like I wasn't in the room, they could do it while I was in the room this time. But deep down, I think I wanted them to see me. Not the fixer. Not the convenient extra. Me. Sunday rolls around and I show up 10 minutes late on purpose. Petty? Maybe. But I needed to feel like I was in control of something. When I walked in, everything looked normal. Too normal. Mom at the stove doing her over-the-top Martha Stewart routine. Dad half watching the game, acting like he didn't notice me. Naomi setting the table like we were about to have communion. Jesse was already halfway through his second beer, scrolling TikTok at full volume. No one mentioned last week. No one brought up my text. No one acted like anything had happened. Naomi smiled and said, "Hey, stranger," like we hadn't just spent a week ignoring each other. We sat down, and dinner started like usual. Mom listing off every ingredient in the lasagna like it was a Michelin review, Jesse making jokes at my expense, Naomi bragging about her new spin class. I didn't say much, just nodded and ate and waited. It wasn't until the second glass of wine that Naomi turned to me and went, "So, how's the whole freelance enlightenment path going?" I smiled. That fake, tight-lipped kind. "Still recording my sad little podcast, thanks for asking." She blinked. Didn't get it. Then Jesse chimed in. "You should do an episode on how to be invisible at family dinners." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I had it. I had them. My phone in my hoodie pocket, recording again, just in case. Mom jumped in, too peppy, too rehearsed. "We love that you're finding your voice, honey." I set my fork down. "You know," I said, keeping my tone light, "it's funny. I've been listening to myself more lately, like actually listening." Naomi sipped her wine. "You've always loved hearing yourself talk. And I've learned so much," I continued, "like how I'm the family's backup plan, or how I'm exhausting, or how you don't tell people I'm your son anymore." Dad finally looked up. Just a flicker of recognition. And then that same flat expression he always wore when he didn't want to deal with something. Jesse froze. Naomi's face drained a little. Mom's jaw clenched so tight I thought she'd crack a molar. No one said anything for a solid 10 seconds. So I filled the silence. "I left my mic running last week," I said. "After dinner. Caught a really great episode of Family Takedown. You guys should subscribe." Naomi recovered first. "That's so manipulative." "Ironic," I said. "You know what else is manipulative? Saying I don't belong in the family while I'm still in the house?" Jesse groaned. "Are we really doing this?" Mom finally spoke, voice tight. "Eli, if you're going to twist things—" "I didn't twist anything," I said. "I recorded it." Her face paled. "I wasn't going to do anything with it," I added. "Jenna suggested I record so I could hear myself clearly. Turns out, I wasn't the one I needed to listen to." Naomi stood up, threw her napkin on the table. "You always have to make a scene." "No," I said, standing too. "I usually don't. That's the problem." And then I left. Didn't slam the door. Didn't yell. Just walked out while Mom was still trying to spin some version of reality where she was the victim. I haven't played the new recording yet. I don't know if I want to. But something's different now. I'm not sure if they'll try to reach out or if they'll pretend I don't exist for real this time. Either way, I'm ready. Update 1. Okay. Wow. Did not expect the explosion from my last post. I've read every DM, every comment, even the one guy who said I probably deserved it for driving a Prius. Stay classy, internet. But seriously, thank you. For real. Some of you were savage, some supportive, a few armchair psychologists, but damn, y'all made me feel seen. And also, y'all gave me the nerve to do what I did next. So here's what happened. 2 days after the dinner, Naomi texted. No apology, no, let's talk. Just this gem. You made mom cry, hope it was worth it. I didn't respond. But apparently that silence sent mom into panic mode because I got a voicemail from her that started with, I'm disappointed in how you handled things, and ended with, we're still your family, Eli. Don't destroy that over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. The kicker? Jesse sent me a voice memo. Not an apology, more like a PR statement. He actually said, I know the audio sounded bad, but context is everything. My dude, you called me a sad podcast freak. What's the context? That you were auditioning for Worst Brother Alive? Then it got worse. Thursday morning, I get a call from my dad. That alone was weird. Rick doesn't call unless a TV remote dies or Costco stops carrying his favorite pretzels. He sounded tired, like, I've been guilted into calling by your mother, tired. Can we talk? He asked. And I said, sure, let's talk right now. I put him on speaker, hit record, because at this point, I'm not playing. We talked. He did the whole, you're sensitive routine, said the audio didn't capture tone, and when I pressed him on what exactly he meant by calling me a disappointment, he said, Eli, you've always been different. We just didn't know how to support that. Support. That. As in, silently mock me behind my back and pretend I don't exist in family photos? I told him I'd be sending a Google Drive folder, not just with the audio files, but a typed transcript, with names, timestamps, quotes. I wasn't bluffing. And then I said, if you want to move forward, start by owning what you said. Otherwise, we're done. He hung up. That was 3 days ago. Since then, radio silence. No texts. No guilt-trippy emails. No sudden Netflix password resets. But this morning, I woke up to a Venmo notification from Rick, $200. Memo line. For therapy. I'm not even kidding. I stared at it for 5 minutes. I haven't accepted it. I don't know if I will. But I do know this. They're scared now. And for once, I'm not. After the Venmo stunt, I expected silence. Maybe they'd let it die. Maybe I'd finally be free of the guilt machine they'd been running my whole life. Instead, they pivoted. By Friday, Naomi had posted a carousel of throwbacks on Facebook titled Family First. It was a mix of staged holiday pics and beach shots from years ago, including one of me, age 13, braces, holding a grilled cheese like it was an Oscar. Caption: through ups and downs, family is forever. Even when people forget that. Forget that? Oh, so now I'm the one forgetting family? The one walking away? Cute. And the comments. God, the comments. All her friends piling on with, you're the glue, Naomi. And, your brother's just jealous. Don't let it get to you. One person even wrote, you've always been so strong, especially with everything Eli's put you through. Everything I've put them through? I was the freaking IT department, therapist, babysitter, emotional buffer, and now I'm the villain in their highlight reel? I was still reeling when I got the email. Subject line: a note from mom. It was a PDF, a literal document. I don't know if she wrote it herself or dictated it to some Facebook parenting group AI bot, but it read like a hostage letter written by someone holding their own damn rope. We are sorry you felt hurt by things said that you were never intended to hear. We understand that emotions can distort perspective. The family has always wanted the best for you, even when you have made it difficult. You have a choice now. To either continue this division or remember that forgiveness is a virtue we hope we taught you. You felt hurt. Emotions can distort perspective. I wanted to scream. And then, because apparently the universe needed comic relief, Jesse posted a story on IG. Him lip-syncing some generic Drake lyric about loyalty, with a caption that just said, some people switch up when you stop carrying them. I almost threw my phone across the room. Instead, I did something better. I logged into the family's shared cloud account. Yes, the one I set up. The one they never bothered to change the password for. Inside were hundreds of old photos, backups, saved voice memos, including one titled NaomiToast.mp3. It was from last Christmas. Naomi giving a speech about the bonds of blood while drunk on eggnog. And about 5 minutes in, she slurred this gem. Honestly, Eli's like the family's emotional janitor. He just mops up after all of us and acts like that's his personality. Love him, though. I downloaded it, clipped the quote, sent it back. To Naomi, to Mom, to Dad. Subject line, distorted perspective, no text, just the clip. Naomi left me on read. Mom emailed back a single line. This is cruel. I haven't replied, because here's the thing. I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm trying to show them the mirror they've spent years avoiding. I used to think love meant tolerance. Now I think maybe it starts with honesty, even if that honesty makes people squirm. I was still on edge from the audio standoff when the text came in. From Jesse, of all people. You're not the only one who records stuff. Thought you should know. No context. No emojis. Just that. I didn't respond. Thought it was another weak attempt at intimidation, but 30 minutes later, another text came through. This one with a Dropbox link. At first, I hesitated, but curiosity always wins with me. I clicked. Inside was a single audio file. No label, no date, just a generic file name like audio101.mp3. I played it. It was a conversation. Mom and Naomi. Low volume, like someone had left their phone recording in a bag or pocket. The first voice was Naomi's. He's not going to let this go, you know. He's different now. Like, actually angry. Mom sighed. He's always been dramatic. Sensitive. He'll cool off. He always does. Naomi. I don't think he will this time. I think he's serious. Then Mom said something that made my stomach turn. Maybe it's for the best. Maybe this is what we needed. To finally get some peace. Naomi scoffed. He's your son. He was never easy, Mom said. You and Jesse were natural. With Eli, everything's always had to be earned. Natural. Like love was something rationed, like attention had to be deserved. Then Naomi said, almost too softly, what if he cuts us off completely? And Mom, my mother, replied, then I suppose we just move on. I stopped the recording. I couldn't breathe. For a second, I thought maybe Jesse sent it to rub it in. But then I saw the message under the Dropbox link. It had come through while I was listening. They said that after you left the dinner. I left my phone in my jacket, didn't mean to catch it. Figured you should know. It was the first real message Jesse had ever sent me that didn't sound like a punchline. I sat there in my living room, lights off, replaying that sentence. Then I suppose we just move on. Like I was something to delete. A bad file. A blip. And yet, weirdly, I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just shut down. Like someone finally hit the kill switch on the part of me that kept hoping they'd change. I didn't respond to Jesse. Not yet. But I saved the recording. Titled it natural.mp3. Because from now on, I'm making my own definition of what natural family looks like. Update 2. Alright, I wasn't planning to post again. I figured after the second recording, after Mom basically called me an optional organ in the family body, there wasn't much left to say. But then she reached out. Adelaide. Yup. Naomi's bestie turned sister-in-law. Jesse's on and off situationship turned fiancé turned ex. Depending on the month. She messaged me on Instagram, of all places. Short and to the point. Heard what happened. You're not crazy. Can I call? We hadn't talked in years. Not really. Just the occasional birthday party. Hi, how are you? But I always liked her. She was the only one who didn't treat family dinners like a performance. So yeah, I gave her my number. She called that night. And what she told me? Changed everything. She said the family's been like this forever. Selective memory, whispered critiques, pretending things were fine while throwing someone under the bus to keep the peace. She'd noticed it start with Jesse, how they enabled every failure, blamed others when he messed up. But then it shifted to me. I became the buffer. The scapegoat when Jesse got arrested for shoplifting that one time. He's hanging out with the wrong crowd. Eli should talk to him. The excuse when Naomi flunked a semester. The family stress is just too much. Eli's always so emotional. But Adelaide said something that hit me sideways. They rely on you more than they admit. You're the one who absorbs their shame so they don't have to deal with it. And then she told me this. When Naomi and Mom found out about the first recording, their first move wasn't to apologize. It was to spin it. They'd already told several extended family members I'd taken things out of context, that I was Going through something. There was even talk, get this, about staging an intervention for me, to paint me as unstable, manipulative, delusional. They think if they control the narrative, they control the damage, Adelaide said. I asked her why she was telling me this. She sighed. Because I saw what it did to my sister. Different story, same pattern. And because I don't want to be a part of it anymore. She paused, then said, They don't deserve you, Eli. But you deserve to know the truth. So now I know, the damage control isn't coming. It's already happening. Behind my back, through relatives, social media, probably some half-baked prayer chain. But now, I've got the receipts. And for the first time in my life, I don't feel like I have to defend myself to them. I didn't throw a tantrum. I didn't show up at the house and demand closure or scream into the wind like I used to imagine. I just unplugged. I deleted the family calendar access I'd been managing for 6 years. I removed myself from the shared grocery list app. I canceled the backup email I'd used to help mom recover her passwords when she locked herself out of everything important every other month. I transferred ownership of the Google Drive folder they used for family photos to Naomi. And then I logged out. It took me 10 minutes to erase 10 years of digital codependence. And I didn't say a word. I knew they'd notice, eventually. But I wasn't going to be the one to explain it. Not this time. Let them guess. Let them feel the weight of something missing and not know how to fix it. Then I blocked them. Not out of spite, out of necessity. Mom, Dad, Naomi, Jesse, all of them. I made a clean sweep. Not just on socials, but my phone too. The silence was deafening at first, like cutting the power in a house you didn't realize was humming until it wasn't. But then, peace. I didn't expect it to feel like this. I thought I'd be wrecked. Thought I'd lie awake spiraling, regretting, doubting. But I slept. Hard. For the first time in months, I didn't wake up to a passive-aggressive group text or a guilt-tripping reminder about some family brunch I wasn't actually invited to. No pity calls. No accidental FaceTimes. Just silence. Sacred. Clean. I sent one last thing. Not to them. To Jenna, my therapist. I emailed her the audio files. All of them. And I wrote, You told me to listen so I'd stop gaslighting myself. I did. And I stopped. She replied within an hour. Proud of you. When you're ready, we'll talk about what comes next. I don't know what comes next. I don't know if this silence is permanent or just a pause before the next explosion. But for the first time, I feel like I get to decide. Maybe one day they'll reach out. Maybe they won't. But if they do, I won't meet them at the dinner table. I'll be too busy setting one somewhere else, with people who see me, hear me, and don't need a hidden mic to realize I exist.